Wow. Look at this magnificent submarine that we built for billions of dollars that will only be on screen for 3 minutes. The following podcast contains spoilers for Atlantis, the Lost Empire. You have been warned!
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of KFR News Radio. This is your host, Glen, along with your host, Miguel Magusto.
Hello, Glenn. How are you?
I'm feeling down in the dumps. I was a sick little boy the last 2 days.
Oh, no.
Got a little stomach bug. It's no fun.
That's no fun at all.
It is no fun at all, but I'll tell you what I did do in the meantime while dying on the throne, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I got a lot of editing done.
Yeah,
so that was
good.
Nice. Yeah, so that's kind of all I did.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but in the meantime of me doing that, I did watch a lot of YouTube because I can't concentrate on a full movie while editing. So
I got you.
Last week, if you recall, I was watching a lot of that Talkville podcast with Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling. I cranked out like a whole season of them talking about all those episodes. Jesus Christ. As like sitting down and think of it, if they got an hour-long episode each, and I think I'm at least on like episode 20. So it's 20 hours of just listening to that.
Yeah.
During the whole weekend. But other than that, we watched a little movie.
Yes.
I think, if you recall.
Yes, we did.
It was The Last Voyage of Demeter. We can't really talk about it on the podcast, but we have it on YouTube. You can check it out on there. After that, today, I decided, you know what, since I'm homesick today, maybe I will watch a movie. And not the one that we have to watch, but maybe also that one at the same time. And it was Mr. Nice Guy. I was browsing through the YouTube catalog again. I'm like, I still don't know what's on this because they don't really show you everything. Like, they don't kind of hand it to you. You got to dive into it.
Yeah, it's not like all the other streaming services.
Yeah, so I found a nice little movie called Mr. Nice Guy. It's got Jackie Chan in it. It's from 1997, pretty much right before Rush Hour. I had no idea this movie existed.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's Jackie Chan. What could go wrong? Everything but Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
This movie was literally anything but like the choreography. This movie was just so... It's bad acting and the characters that are in it, or there's like 3 or 4 really like decent characters in it. But everybody else, the crime lords, Mike, I want you to watch at least like the first 10 minutes, just the opening, and just like the crime. There's like 2 rival gangs trying to get a hold of this tape that this what the fuck's the word for it? Like this news reporter. Like this news reporter was like privately, secretly doing all this investigation shit and recording these 2 gangs going at each other, and then now they're both going after her. And just the sequence of that first 10 minutes is just like, what the fuck is this? What in the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And like you would think, like, it came out in 97. It seemed like a product of the 80s, of how just kind of bonkers and like let loose it was, because this was late 90s. Like, it shouldn't have even been this ridiculous. It's like they just made the movie 10 years too late or something.
It looks like that might have been his first American movie. I'm trying to see if he had another one. Yeah, I think that might have been his first American. If I'm wrong, someone correct me. But from what I can tell, just looking at the list, it looks like his first American film.
But I watched that. I wanted to give it a really low score, but the choreography is always good with Jackie.
Yeah.
And it seemed like most of the cast also did a lot of, maybe not a lot, but at least most of them attempted to do a lot of the type of choreography that he does. Yeah. Which was cool. Like, obviously, people that weren't in his like immediate stunt team. So like there's just like the news reporter, she was doing some cool shit, but she was like Australian or something like that. Not that she wouldn't be a part of her team or his team, but still. So like I had to give it at least some credit. A lot of people were giving this at least like a 2.5 to a 3. I'm like, oh, dude, did that really deserve that? I don't know. I'll think about it for a while. But after that, I watched Atlantis, which we shall get into in just a little bit after you tell me what you've been doing, Papa Bear.
Yeah. Well, I got bit by a dog. I already told you this.
That you did.
In the most comedic way possible. So I've been doing some door dashing just for some extra money. It's legitimately like the easiest quick money that you could make as like that of like gig culture. I hate gig culture, but it is an easy way to make money. And I was delivering a pizza to this house, and this dog was like barking at me, and it was a cute dog. And the only reason I stopped is because I'm pretty good at like being able to tell if a dog's about to run up on me. I'd never thought it was going to bite me, but like my dog jumps up on people, which were trying and failing to get it to stop doing. So I was just preparing.
It's hard to do it when she's the age she is now.
I was preparing to like just brace myself for it to jump on me, and. When I stopped, the owner said, don't worry, he doesn't bite. Half a second after he said he doesn't bite, he bit me. Just like a little nip. It hurt a lot worse than like the damage it did. Like it hurt. Yeah. Like I said motherfucker in front of this person's 6-year-old kid. And because of the situation, of course, they did not get mad at me for cursing in front of their kid. And they were very apologetic and embarrassed and all that. And, like, it didn't even break the skin, but it really hurt. And I just thought it was funny that half a second after they said, don't worry, he doesn't bite.
Hey, don't worry.
First time I've ever been bitten by a dog, too. But other than, fighting off dogs, adorable dog. Despite it biting me, it was an adorable dog. I started 2 weeks ago watching season 3 of the TV show The Righteous Gemstones with Danny McBride, John Goodman, Adam Devine, and a bunch of other people. I love this show. The 3rd season came out, and I was just trying to wait for all the episodes to be out before I finished it, or before I started season 3. One of the best shows on TV now. It's hilarious. I highly suggest people check it out. I heard they also got picked up for a 4th season, which is I love, but this one kind of ended it in a good way. I think they weren't sure if they were going to get a 4th season, so they ended it if they had to end it. And
Danny McBride's doing really good with his TV shows.
Oh yeah, this I don't. You haven't watched this yet, right, Glenn?
I don't really watch TV shows that often. No. I didn't watch it, to answer the question.
You should watch this one. This one is hilarious. You will roll on the floor laughing. It's great. I love it. But yeah. Then I watched one. I had a light movie week for me. Only 5 movies. First, I rewatched Oppenheimer because my brother-in-law had a gift card to Regal. He doesn't really go to the movies too much because he's a responsible adult, unlike me. He had a gift card, and he wanted to go see 70mm IMAX at King of Prussia. Because film is not a thing anymore, unfortunately, unless you go to like the niche shows that art house theaters have. And so we went there. I gave him a little tour of the IMAX booth because I still know the general manager there from when I worked for Regal. And really, like the first time our reaction to it, Glenn, was, and I'm sure you already know this, was really because it was a 3-hour movie after a 2-hour movie, and Barbie is a lot more fun. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a better movie. I think they're pretty even keel, and you can't compare them because they're so different.
There's no reason to.
Yeah, other than the whole Barbenheimer thing.
Yeah.
So our first reaction to it, we were just like tired and fatigued, and it was really hot in there because it was a sold out show. And this time around, I was able to really enjoy it more than I did the first time, and bumped it up. I now have Barbie and Oppenheimer for joint 3rd or 4th in my top 10.
Ooh, so the Barbenheimer gets the 3rd, 4th, huh?
Yeah. Like they're 4.5 stars, but I can't I like them equally for different reasons.
Yeah.
So it bumped up from like 10th to 3rd or 4th. But whatever number the first one is between Barbie and Oppenheimer, they're tied for it in my mind. But yeah, so Oppenheimer's great. You can check out our review for that if you wanted to. Then we watched The Last Voyage of the Demeter, review for that on YouTube, like you said. Then I watched Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which we're going to get into in just a minute. Then yesterday, I watched Philadelphia with Tom Hanks for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, it's just one of those movies I hadn't got around to.
Yeah.
Really good movie. Really solid movie. Everyone knows, of course, it's like one of the... I don't know for sure, but I feel like it's probably one of the first mainstream movies to talk about the AIDS epidemic and everything.
Yeah.
And, of course, Tom Hanks won an Oscar for his performance of that. Denzel Washington is great in it. I thought it was a great movie.
It is a really good movie.
Yeah.
Really sad, too.
It is really sad, yeah. I really appreciated that it was, sad, because I feel like a lot of 90s movies try to end happy.
Yeah.
And sad endings are more of a now thing, because everyone's depressed.
And why not just add to the pile?
Exactly. Then, in my Ingmar Bergman collection, I watched a movie called The Serpent's Egg, which is about an American man in Berlin in 1923 when they're going through their depression after World War I, after they had all the sanctions put on them that made a pack of cigarettes cost like 1 billion German marks or something. I forget exactly how much it was, but like their economy was fucked after World War I, which is one of the main reasons that Hitler rose to power, because he was the only... this is history. I'm not siding with him. People saw him as the only glimmer of hope for Germany, and that is why putting dangerous sanctions on people is not necessarily always a good thing after you win a war. But yeah, Serpent's Egg, it was okay. It was kind of boring. David Carradine was the main actor, which is weird for an Ingmar Bergman movie. And he was subpar. Like, not bad, but just like compared to Liv Ullmann and everyone else that Ingmar Bergman has, just not as good. Yeah, but it's fine. It is what it is. At this point, I'm kind of just slowly going through the Ingmar Bergman ones. I told myself I have to finish the Ingmar Bergman movies before I get to the Godzilla movies. I think I only have like 7 left.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'm getting there. One of them's 5 hours long.
Yeah,
so,
at least one a week. That's
what I'm trying to do, but it's a struggle. I'll tell you what. But yeah,
I bet you.
I'll tell you what. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Ooh. Oh. A young linguist named Milo Thatch joins an intrepid group of explorers to find the mysterious lost continent of Atlantis. Directed by Gary Truesdale and Kirk Wise, written by Tab Murphy, another, we said last week, a great baseball name, with like Mookie Betts and others who I can't remember. Tug McGraw, that's another one. Kirk Wise, Gary Truesdale, starring Michael J. Fox, Jim Varney, Corey Burton, Claudia Christian, Cree Summer, Florence Stanley, Don Novello, Jim Cummings is in there, Leonard Nimoy, Phil Morris, Jacqueline Obradors. This is one of, if I'm not mistaken, one of the quote-unquote failed experiments that Disney had to combine 3D and 2D animation in the early 2000s. The other one being Treasure Planet, which we talked about earlier this year. And yeah, came up with you picking the number on my list. And
I'm so good at picking numbers, man.
yeah, you are. So before I get into my thoughts, I want to hear what your thoughts, because you had seen this before. This is my first time. What were your thoughts now and later and earlier and before?
Yes.
And
I'll start with the before. Back when I was a wee little babe of a man, I thought as a young child, there's so many good Disney movies out there. Why is this one getting all the love? I thought this fucking movie was overrated as shit when I first saw it. Like, I didn't watch Treasure Planet, at least like for a while when I was younger. So I couldn't even like compare to the Atlantis and Treasure Planet hype between the two. But I always known that Atlantis got like so much hype. I had watched parts of this before, and I was just like, "This movie is dog shit." I guess is how I sounded as a small child.
Oh boy, this movie's dog shit.
Wow, this thing sucks ass. But no, I always thought this movie was overrated. But I rewatched it after I graduated at some point, and I got a lot. I alleviated a lot of the overrated shit. I was like, okay, I could see why people are liking this a lot more. And like I think I actually gave it a 4, which is kind of surprising because I don't remember liking it that much when I first saw it, or not first saw it, but rewatching it. And then this time I was even more lighter like on it. I was like, okay, yeah, this is like genuinely enjoyable. Like there's not a moment where I at least really got super bored in any way. I really didn't like that they kind of it felt like they rushed the first 15 minutes getting to it. Like
well, like I said in the intro, the whole all the advertising's around the submarine. The submarine's in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Before it gets sunk.
Like all of the plots obviously, in the place that it's named after, Atlantis. But I feel like the journey to get there was so stretched thin instead of like being like this great journey. It's a kid's movie. It can only be so long. But a solid 15 extra minutes on just like the journey to get to Atlantis would have been fantastic. I mean, it was like a nice little montage.
Or if we got to see the place that shall not be named at all.
Yeah, that too. But like it just felt like the journey to get there didn't have any like struggles. Like obviously the fucking thing their submarine got sunk by a Leviathan of sorts, whatever the hell the defense mechanism was down there. But like other than that, it didn't feel like there was any real danger because like it was like a montage of just getting there. Like it just. Not that there had to be danger, but like it could have been such a good solid stretch of like an Indiana Jones like journey of just like trying to find this lost thing, and they were like, "Hop on board! We already know where this fucking thing is. Let's go!"
Yeah.
But no, other than that, there's like I don't really have too many flaws with this anymore. Do I still think people hype it up like crazy? Absolutely. But at the same time, like I've also accepted the fact that it is a good movie now as a man-child.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now getting to your thoughts, what do you think of it?
So I agree where I was kind of worried that it was going to be overhyped when I watched it. To an extent, it was. And if I'm honest, a lot of my notes would just be for a better story in general, not necessarily a better kids movie, but a better story. Like, because they straight up just show that Atlantis was a real place in the beginning, which completely gets rid of the mystery. Yes, I know we're going to see a movie called Atlantis. In the trailers, they show that it's real. But if we're talking from a storytelling standpoint, you got to build the mystery up, even though people know what's going to happen.
At least a little bit.
So either don't show Atlantis at all in the beginning, or show more of it, show before the inciting incident happened that made Atlantis sink to the ocean, because they just start with it in peril, where people are running from, was it a wave or aliens? I don't even know. Like they're being a
deity.
A deity, yeah. So they just start with that, and so we're not really getting any emotional weight from it, other than that there's a kid. Say what you want, when you watch a movie and then there is a kid, that is not necessarily an automatic I am feeling the emotion that these people are feeling. Now, if we're talking about real life, that's different, because you know it's real. When you know it's fake, that's one thing. So I feel like they either needed to get rid of the opening where they showed Atlantis altogether, or add more.
Completely cut it. Yeah. I think so.
Or show more of how Atlantis was, like a 5 to 10 minute sequence of how Atlantis was and what caused the sinking, rather than just a line of dialogue that they have later. Of course.
How did they get the book of the Atlantean language?
They got it in Iceland.
Showing how they got a hold of that research beforehand, like his grandfather's like research, and before he passed, and then like kind of having like Milo like in like the background, or having like a picture of Milo in like his grandfather's pocket or some shit.
Yeah,
kind of like, kind of passing the torch in a way. Like, okay, grandfather's doing this research while all this shit, obviously it's probably happened 8,500 years ago or some shit.
Yeah,
but doing like a whole thing, like a whole story of the before, like the actual crash of Atlantis, like it's a stock market or some shit. But yeah, it would have been absolutely anything in the beginning to extend it 15 minutes would have been sick. Yeah.
So they mentioned that the book is in Iceland, and then just don't show that at all, which is a tease for me, because I'm allowed to say it because it's part of the movie. Well, I got really excited when they mentioned Iceland. I'm like, ooh, I get to see what animators in the early 2000s thought Iceland looked like.
You saw him write out Ireland, and you're like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
And then I like
Ireland too. I was excited about Ireland too, but I have more recent memories of Iceland.
Yeah.
And then he calls himself a cartographer, which, for those of you who don't know what that means, it means that he makes maps.
Yeah.
That was the most inaccurate map of Iceland I had ever seen. It didn't have the southern peninsula region. Yes, I have this on Google because it's getting the correct names. It didn't have the western fjords. It was pretty much just a blob.
Yeah.
And had the general shape correct, I guess, but none of the details. And then, like a little tease, like a little strip tease. They're like, hey, we're gonna go to Iceland. Never mind, they found it already, and here's a picture of them finding it. You don't get to go to Iceland at all, Glenn.
Not even a lick of ice.
Instead, we're gonna go with all these Soviet soldiers into the submarine. I only say that because they had a shovel and pick axe logo. But yeah, so I feel like you nailed it on the head. They definitely rushed the beginning. And then, as I mentioned many times already, once they're on the submarine, which it was in heavily a lot of the advertisements, that submarine's there for 3 minutes. You don't get any bit of their life on the submarine. It's, hey, we're on this submarine. Oh, this is your new roommate.
Our trek is done. Congrats.
No, never mind. It's not your new roommate. We're going to destroy the submarine, and you have to go elsewhere. So they just set up a lot of stuff.
It was only a 7-hour voyage, too.
Yeah.
Like they fucking the shit sank within 7 hours.
Yeah, it's a 7-hour voyage, and like I know
what the hell
probably
did they even have beds for?
Yeah, what was the point of having beds? It was just it's weird. But enough.
It's a kids' movie.
Yeah,
so.
it's a kids' movie. Enough negativity. I thought the art style was great. I really enjoyed how it looked. It definitely had that modern classic feel that only animated movies after Toy Story, but before that they shut down the majority of Disney animation.
I wish there was more movies with this style.
I agree.
I mean, I understand budgetary reasons, and it takes a long time, but man, these movies like felt like something instead of just whatever we're getting the last.
That's the thing with
15
analog
years.
versus digital. I'm pretty sure these were hand drawn. I could be wrong. It's hand drawn. If it is hand drawn at all, it's mixed with computer generated animation, which is still generated by a human. You know, just because it's computer generated back then. I mean, now with AI, it's a little different. Yeah. But it feels more authentic and real when you can tell that someone touched what we are looking at. Physically touched, not just touched with a cursor or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely a style that I miss. I think the last one that Disney released, at least, was Princess and the Frog. I could be mistaken.
I haven't watched that still.
Really? That's actually as far as like a princess movie goes. I liked it a lot.
The cusp of me getting out of Disney movies. Yeah. At that age,
you're in between your first Disney era and your Disney resurgence, which every adult has at some point.
Yeah,
where they start liking Disney again.
And I'm falling out of it again.
Yeah,
but I fell out of it again.
I do appreciate that, even though it's rushed, the sinking of the submarine definitely shows that there's like a dangerous element to it, which is missing in a lot of Disney movies, especially nowadays. Maybe not so much back then, but yeah, I liked that. You straight up see what's her name, what's her name? Where are you at? Audrey. You see her close a door on a guy who's trying to escape, but he's not going to make it in time, so she closes the door on him. You see a bunch of people die in the kids' movie.
They even straight up state that there's like 200 people on that boat. They're on the sub, and then there's maybe like a quarter of that standing there. Yeah. I mean, obviously I don't think they could have drawn a quarter, like 50 people, but there was like a good group of people that you could tell was not 200 people.
Yeah, definitely.
And they had like a whole speech of like, we had good people on that goddamn boat. And it like that danger felt like, oh shit, there was a lot of people on that boat, and there was actually repercussions to it. Damn, that's nutty.
One of the biggest things that I had trouble grasping, and again, I know it's a kids movie. I know that it takes logical leaps for the sake of the children.
Think of the children.
But they said that Atlantis sunk like 8,000 years before they saw them, or I think he says that Princess Kaida is 8,000 years old or something like that. Kaida.
She's roughly 8,500 years old.
8,500. So yeah, around then, because she was but a child when it sank.
She said that she saw it. She saw it go down.
So when that went down, English was not a language. There was no way for them to even like know the origins of English, because the origins of English were so far away.
Dude, they had Wi-Fi, man. Get over it.
But then, like, English is also like it's an amalgamation of a bunch of different languages. So there's no way that they would just be able to pick it up, because they'd be like, that word's Germanic, that word's Latin.
Well, did you ever think of this? Maybe they created English.
Shut up. Shut your dirty, filthy whore mouth, Glen.
Conspiracy theorying
here.
You
shut your mouth right now. I mean, again, I know it's a kid's movie, but when that happened, I would have much preferred, rather than her being like, oh yeah, we speak English, to either it not be acknowledged at all, or have a scene where he is teaching her.
And since she already knows so many, she would have picked it up quick.
Yes. And then everyone else just speaks Atlantean and is subtitled, or she translates for them until towards the end when you can...
Well, that would have took too long. And they've got a plan to heist the fuck out of these guys. So, sorry, Mike, but your logic isn't logicking.
the mixture of General Patton and John Wayne character. I think his name's Rourke. God, I mean, he was a good villain, but like I hated him so much, and you know, you're supposed to hate him.
I liked all the characters. The characters were great. I'll tell you one thing though. See, you've got this thing with toxic, dark-haired women. I have this thing.
Not
with
toxic. Crazy.
Well, same category, different breed, shall we say? Yeah. I've got a thing for crazy blonde women. So look at that. God, Helga.
Yeah.
Thank God when I was a child, I didn't think about this movie too often.
How? I just want to know how, back then, did all of these animators get away with just, like, creating sexual awakenings for youth? Like...
Because they're sitting there, they're like... That's another one in the books, baby. God damn, that's hot. And they're going to think so,
this
too.
For
when
me,
they're
not a child.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they get away with. This, like her,
like Meg and Hercules.
The whole movie. Yeah, oh my God. Don't stop. No, don't stop, actually. Like, during this movie, her tank top strap, her cami strap, her dress straps are all falling off. So she's out there being fucking strong, independent woman out there, goddamn boxing people and shit like that, being sexy, doing it. God, this fucking movie, man. Unrealistic expectations.
I said that we would try to avoid talking about Princess Kaida. I didn't know we'd be talking about Helga.
I'll talk about Helga all day. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh my God. Helga, man. I gotta take a drink. I gotta cool off with this hot tea.
But you know who I really liked? The Atlantean king who does not have a name.
Yeah.
That bald head and beard. Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think of that to be Leonard Nimoy at all.
Yeah. I mean,
But also, to be fair, the only reason I would know him, it would be not even from Star Trek, the newer Star Trek movies. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't even... What else was he in, actually? That's hilarious. I opened up, like, to see what his other credits are. Literally all the top ones are just fucking Star Trek.
Well, yeah, that's what he's best known for.
He could have had, like, one other big one in there, but nah, they just gave him everything Star Trek.
I do enjoy... I don't have too much else to say, but I enjoy how it discusses the ethics of archaeology before it was even like a mainstream topic, where it's just like, this isn't ours to take, this doesn't belong to us, and stuff like that. Of course, it was a little bit higher stakes because the things they were taking were going to actively kill the people.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you really get to it, the whole colonization, while not, inherently causing of death, it caused death.
Well, it takes away immortality, basically.
Like, if you take the whitewashed version of colonization, it doesn't cause death, but it does cause death. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of what it was going for a little bit with the taking of the heart of Atlantis and all that. So yeah, I enjoyed that for the most part. I still think it's a very overrated movie. I thought it was fine. I think there are better animations from the time to lose your shit about. But yeah, I'm not going to tell people not to like it. I think it's funny that it ends with Milo staying behind, and yet
there's a sequel.
There's a sequel called the Return of Milo, but that might be the Return to the Surface. Now that I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah,
Milo's return. Let's see, Milo and Kato reunite with their friends.
Is Michael Che in that?
No, James Arnold Taylor plays Milo.
Oh. I wonder if if it was like too much for him to handle doing a voice. I don't even know when
with his Parkinson's?
Out. Yeah.
It came out 2 years later, so I don't think it was too bad.
Yeah, or maybe he was just like, nah, I'm good, dog. Those Disney sequels aren't great.
Yeah, back then though.
He was also doing Stuart Little, so
yeah, Disney sequels back then were straight to DVD, so he probably was just like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Pretty much Cree Summer, Don Novello. Don Novello was hilarious. He was my favorite character as Vinny, the Italian explosives guy.
Explosive dude. Everybody was great as far as like it goes.
Yeah.
Michael J. obviously was great. I didn't even think Jim Varney was in this until I saw his credit, and then he, I guess, passed right before this.
Yeah, Cookie. Who's Cookie?
Cookie was the old dude, the cook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
Like Cree Summer she was fantastic. She has such a great voice.
Yeah,
fucking Helga. But yeah, all the voices were great. We didn't really touch on the story in Atlantis itself, but
I mean it's pretty standard. It's
straightforward.
It's your colonization movie where the white man falls in love with the princess of the tribe.
I think
so it's the exact more or less plot of Pocahontas. Yeah. With like the leader or the governor as it is in Pocahontas trying to exploit the tribe and all that, and so it's the same. There's nothing unique about the plot at all other than the location.
Well, that's what I was getting to next. Is like it. I really liked the location, the setting of everything. Like just everything wasn't like, oh, we've got these fish that you guys have or something like that. It was like different breeds, different stuff, different going on.
Yeah.
And I really liked everything about it. Like even like, I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. Celestials. They were a cool thing too.
Yeah. Or Sentinels.
Something like that. The big guys holding up a shield from the volcano.
I think they're called Sentinels. I'm not 100% sure, but
I guess Celestials would just be the deities, huh?
Celestial means like star. Like made out of stars. So yeah, deity, I think.
And deity. So like I thought the whole setting was really cool. Like it's got a great like building block on like like such a great story, and it could have. I just wish it was a little bit longer. There's ever since this movie came out, there has been immense amounts of people fan-ficking or like fan casting, I should say, not ficking. I don't know what the fuck is that even a word? Fan casting this, and a lot right now is driving me crazy because guess who they want to cast as Milo, and guess who they want to cast as Kida?
Tom Holland and Zendaya.
Yep. Like right now, I'm like, I don't want to see Tom Holland in anything right now.
I saw this thing, and so obviously the big thing about like having people play, like having people of I don't know what the phrase is, like minorities and like LGBTQ people to only be played by actors who identify as that. And that's generally like pushed by Gen Zers. There are so many Gen Zers I saw that said Zendaya should play the live action Moana when she is not Polynesian at all.
Don't get me fucking started on the whole.
So like
the whole redhead thing too.
Are all color people of color the same? Like Hawaiians and black people are the same? Like, come on. A half black woman should not play a Polynesian, and I feel like that's not saying a lot.
There's these these characters are like, what the fuck? We're two white guys, but but like these. Well, I just thought it was funny that Gen Zers were pushing.
Like they love Zendaya so much that they're willing to overlook the fact that she's not Polynesian to play Moana. Yeah. Like,
I think it's I like them both. I'm so tired of seeing Tom Holland, even though he's good in stuff. But
is he? He hasn't been good since The Impossible in my mind.
Good in stuff. I didn't say he was great in stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
This is now the second Michael J. Fox role that people want him to play because they really want him to play in Back to the Future too. Also, there's. I don't even know who I would fan cast as Helga. Oh my god, I would like to see a solid new cast.
Vanessa Kirby as Helga.
Stop. It's almost
did I get
impossible
it?
for me, but
Did I
I'm
get it?
moist. No, I mean, I would like to see if they ever did make this a live action, which they never might. But then again, like in 100 years, or if they keep doing this remake Surgeons that they're doing right now, we might eventually see it. But I would like to see like a new cast, specifically with the cast they've got, because it's diversified as fuck. They've got a Latina, or I don't know the correct terminology, so I'm sorry.
Young white guy, old white guy,
Yep.
liberal white guy, conservative
Yep.
white guy.
And then Italian's
French
not a white guy. You got to
guy.
be careful there.
I mean,
They're a
it
spicy
depends
white
on,
guy.
Depends on who you ask. The Mediterranean.
I feel like there's a very diverse cast here, and I would just like to see new people. I would like to see a good cast and just like prolong the journey to get there, prolong the history before the journey to get there. Mm-hmm. I would like to see if they ever did a live action. I would love to see them just, instead of like just milking like, oh, here's everything nostalgia.
Show them going to Iceland.
Do anything. Like, it'd be cool. But I think it would be a great live action portrayal.
Yeah. Speaking of Iceland, when I was in Vik, which is on the southern coast of Iceland, there was a film crew there, and I'm like, all of their signs were in English. Granted, they might just do that because they know they have a lot of tourists. Mm. But I'm very, very interested to see what they were filming that day, because I would.
Yeah. How do you even keep tabs on that?
I have no idea. Iceland's a major thing. I just got to look for, in the next like 6 months to a year and a half, I got to see what movies were filmed in Vik, in the south coast of Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know terribly too much that I have to say either.
Yeah. I think it's a standard plot. The plot didn't really impress me. The animation is good. I think the animation in Treasure Planet's a little bit better. If I have to pick, obviously they're two different films. And I feel like the jokes in this, because there are obvious jokes, they didn't land as well as they did in Treasure Planet. So I don't know. But it's overall enjoyable. I think it is overrated though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to compare too much. I wish Disney didn't fuck Treasure Planet so hard.
Yeah.
But like, I do think this is structured a little bit better.
Maybe. Yeah, I'd agree.
And I thought the characters were likable. Everybody was fun, and I thought it was funny, like a good chunk of moments. I didn't get bored in it. But do I still think people overhype the shit out of it? A little bit, yeah. Like, but I now am not on that same level I was with my teenage angst, and lesser than that year-wise. Being like, you fucking suck. Ugh. God, that blonde's hot. Ugh.
Oh, well,
sucks. Otherwise, ugh. I'll tell you what, when she fell off that ship and then came back up and drop-kicked his fucking chin, God, the raging... You know what? Never mind.
Was it like me and Little Mermaid where I go, oh?
I thought I was camping. I was pitching tents.
Stop. All right, you got anything else to say?
No, that is it.
All right, so that unfortunately does it for our review for Atlantis, The Lost Empire. That brings us to the judgment. As always, it needs to be a unanimous decision whether or not it goes in the KFR shelf with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden. This was my week to pick, even though Glen picked, but it's on my list. I get to go first. It would have been an easier decision if I saw that Lost or Treasure Planet was not on our list, but it is on the shelf.
Ooh. I was going to ask you that because that would have made my decision a little bit easier.
Oh no. I don't know. It's I want to say no, but it's also...
Hey, man, it's a 50-50 podcast. You say whatever the fuck you want.
I'm going to say no. It didn't impress me as much. I don't remember why we put Treasure Planet on, but I'm sure we had reasons. Yeah, re-listen.
I think a lot of it was that it was being held back.
Yeah.
But for what it was really good.
I don't think this one was held back nearly as much as Treasure Planet was. I mean, Princess Kaida is she's a babe. If we want to quote Wayne's World, so is Helga. If you want to
Swing.
Audrey looks like she's 15, so I'm not even going to go there.
Nope, you can't.
But it's. I just don't think it really deserves to be on the shelf, personally.
There it is, folks. I think if I was waiting for you to tell me if we did put Treasure Planet on. If we did, I think this one definitely goes on then, because you can't. To me, if you can't have one without the other. Although,
you know what? Fuck it. You've persuaded me.
No. You already said it. It's the line is drawn.
Well, I edit this one, so I can do whatever the hell I want.
You bastard! What is Glen yelling about? No, I think personally, I think this was good. Like, is it overrated a little bit? Yeah, but I think the overall
I honestly
movie
think it was
itself.
The hype.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. The hype was more for this than it was for Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
So I think I was more disappointed in this one because it had more hype than Treasure Planet. But I do agree that if Treasure Planet's on there for whatever reason, we should put Atlantis on there as well.
I think so. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
If you're not comparing it at all, I think this movie's solid. And well, that's hard to say because we're trying to be like, if Treasure Planet's on there, go for it. I think overall for me, even if we didn't put Treasure Planet on, I still think this movie as an overall is good enough. I really like the art style. Of course, I've said it multiple times now. I just wish it was 15 minutes longer. But other than that, I personally think it goes on the shelf.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. It's teetering, but it's on there. So
yeah, it's just hanging.
It's teetering. It's hanging. It's like when you come to house sit and you pull the shelves halfway off, or the DVDs halfway off.
Yeah,
That's
every
like
time
that.
I come. Well, speaking of, that's probably coming up again soon. Huh? No, maybe.
For what?
Leave, so I can watch movies. Leave.
I mean, you could just come over and watch movies. That's fine.
Maybe when you start Godzilla.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll let you know when I start.
I
Godzilla.
almost watched one today. I don't even remember which one, but I almost did.
Yeah. Well, Atlantis, the Lost Empire, is teetering, but does go on the KFR shelf with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden. That brings us to our assignment for next week. Glenn,
well,
it's your turn to pick. What are we watching?
This one was a pretty easy one for me this week. I didn't even have to dive too deep into the catalog that I've got for us. A couple weeks back, you told me about a little movie that is now on the Criterion channel. I don't think I picked it the week after you told me. I don't remember what I even picked the last time, but anyway.
Trying to remember this conversation.
Well, I could tell you real quick.
Yeah.
There was a little string of time in like 2020, 2021 where I was just watching Al Pacino movies. And this one wasn't on any of them, and I heard it was obviously one of the best ones that he's got, other than, The Godfather, but I already watched that. So yeah, we're gonna
Godfather Part 2, right?
Oh yeah. We're gonna slip into something a little silly willy and watch a little Dog Day Afternoon.
Ooh.
Just keep talking like nothing was wrong.
Freeze! Nobody move! Get over there! Okay.
I can't do it, Sonny.
All right, let him out. Let him out!
What are you doing in there? We got you completely by the balls. You don't believe me? I'm looking you right in the eye.
I'm telling you, there's a way out of this thing. We got the hostages. We make the demands. We get a helicopter here. It lands on the roof and takes us to a jet. Is there any special country you want to go to?
Wyoming.
Three amateur bank robbers plan to hold up a bank. A nice, simple robbery. Walk in, take the money, and run. Unfortunately, the supposedly uncomplicated heist suddenly becomes a bizarre nightmare as everything that could go wrong does. Directed by Sidney Lumet.
Lumet.
Damn it! Well, it's also written by Frank Pearson, P.F. Cluj,
Probably.
hopefully. Thomas More. Stars Al Pacino, John Cazale, Penelope Allen, Sully Boyer, Carol Kane, Amy Levitt. The ones that don't have profile pictures scare me. It's
That just means they're not paying
who
money.
are you mysterious figure?
It
Who
just means
are
they're
you?
not paying money. Your IMDb profile doesn't have a picture
Well, that's because somebody didn't put one for me.
because you have to pay money.
Yeah, I don't
It's
want
like
to do that.
I can't do. I mean, I could pay money to do it, but
I'm not in enough to care to do that.
Yeah, and I love you, but not that much because it's like
No.
it's like $150 a year.
I would not. No, oh my god. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't ask you to do that anyway. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's been on the watch list for a long time. Rated R, a nice little 2 hours 5 minutes.
Yes.
I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it. I'm
I
so
have
excited.
seen this, and I'm going to withhold everything until next week.
That's a good boy.
Yes. So, Dog Day Afternoon is our assignment for next week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. As always, you can check out our website at www.keystonefilmreview.com, on Instagram, where you're Keystone_film_review, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Keystone Film Review, and on Letterboxd, I am Mike, KFR.
And I'm Glen KFR.
And that will do it until next week when we tell the true story of a man trying to get money so his girlfriend can get a sex change.
Oh, thank God.
It's based on a true story. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. I'm pretty
some
sure that's the reason why he's robbing the bank. It's
Yes.
definitely based on a true story.
Somebody would do it today for sure.
And I know a transgender woman is involved.
Oh.
Don't remember the exact details, but we'll find out next week.
Yes.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.